Hello, friends. Welcome back to Leaders on the Light 2.0. Our guest today is Saba Sharma, Chief Procurement Officer at Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages. Today, we'll be speaking with Saba on her leadership philosophy, the art of negotiation, her learnings, her message for young working women, and of course, we will also get in touch with her personal side. Excuse the pun, but with Saba, life is what you bake of it. Watch as we uncover her love for baking, nature, and the mandatory 7-hour sleep routine, and much more. I am Gaurav Sharma, Chief People Officer at HCCB, and this is Leaders at the Light 2.0. Sit back and relax. This is going to be great. Welcome, Sabah. Welcome to Leaders at the Light 2.0.
Thanks for having me, Gaurav.
My first question to you is about your experience. You had a multicultural, multi-geography experience across different companies, different countries. What are some of the learnings that have helped you in your journey?
As I reflect upon the journey, the learnings, few things that stand out for me are adaptability is really important and key, right? If you can enjoy change and evolve through the journey, it's quite simple and easy. The second one is humility, right? Everywhere you go, every environment, every culture, you're working with people finally, end of the day. So how you can be humble to learn from everyone you work with makes a big difference to being successful or not. What I would really focus on also is being true to yourself, to your core, and being authentic as you adapt. Because irrespective of where you work with geography, always ensure that you stay by your principles and beliefs and your value system, right? And you can never go wrong then.
You've been a leader for many years. What's some of the advice that you want to give to young leaders? And what defines your leadership style?
To young leaders, what I would say is go for assignments, experiences that stretch you. Because that's when learning and growth truly happens, right? And as you do that, enjoy the journey and experiment. Because it's easier to do that much early on in your careers. From a leadership style standpoint, I try to be straightforward. I usually raise the bar for teams, people who work with me. And at the same time, I'm conscious of being empathetic and ensuring that I leave the team more capable to achieve their potential than when I started working with them.
So, team, as you can hear from our leader, an advice for all of you emerging leaders about what experiences and how will this help you in your careers. Saba, I have heard that life is a negotiation, and you have been a master negotiator, and we believe that master negotiators, they thrive in chaos and uncertainty. So what are some of the tips that you can share with us to master the art of negotiation?
Well, I think it all starts with preparation and homework. No matter your experience, no matter the number of years you've been doing it, I cannot undermine the importance of preparing for any negotiation and knowing the other side even better than possibly your own business. Also, listening or keen listening plays a really important role during the negotiation. And what's always helped is being creative about the solutions you're trying to come up with and being open to various versions of solutions versus sticking to your own fixed position, right, as you enter the negotiation. I think that flexibility really changes the game more often than not.
Well, super. Thanks for demystifying negotiation. I used to feel it's an art, you have it or you don't. But you're kind of making it into a science. Now taking it a couple of notches higher, chunking it up and talking about a broader question. When we talk about leaders, professionals, there are different roles that we play as family members, members of the community, as leaders in our organization. How would you strike a balance? Any advice you have, or what can we do to strike a balance between the different roles that we play?
It's best to start with defining balance for yourself without being under societal pressure on what it should mean for oneself. And balance is ever evolving. As your life stage changes, as work phases come in and out, balance is dynamic to me, right? It's rarely static. At the same time, what I hold constant or what I'm always clear about is what I will not compromise on, right? For me, it means if my family ever is in crisis and they need me, I'm there. That's uncompromisable. And I've been, I'm filled with gratitude to be working in organizations always who've allowed me to be able to make that choice, right? Also, another thing that I do for myself is carve out and protect some time for what balances me, my hobbies, right? And it's counterintuitive, but as I start doing that, and as I disconnect from work more consciously, more often, it energizes me even more for work. So that's how I navigate.
Super. Thank you for your personal mantra. And we will get to your hobbies in a section, which is the last one. We are now looking at hiring and onboarding the next gen of leaders. When we talk about the next generation of young leaders, they come with their own value systems, own opinions. So how can we make our organization more inclusive so we can recruit them and ensure we give them a good, great career here?
It starts with us as the leaders acknowledging that there is need for us to change, to adapt, and to embrace the newer next-gen talent. When I say evolve, right? For example, the needs of communication, the ways the next-gen wants to communicate may be very different from what we are used to. So it's about us being comfortable to be outside the comfort zone in some of these things, right? How fast do we embrace technology is another one, right? It is the world of ChatGPT, whether we like it or not, right? So how do we start leading the acceptance of that change such that we stay relevant to the next generation? Another one is not assuming that what worked for us, what we aspired to, is also what drives the next generation, right? So listen in more to them, communicate even more with them, and co-create, careers with them. I think that probably would be the key to keeping them engaged.
So it's a spectrum, right? There's no one solution for all. This need to be customized. And I like what you said previously, right? That we need to define different solutions for different folks, right? And similarly here, for the talent that we are trying to hire, we will need to see what do we need to do, what would work for them, and we need to not assume. Right? That's most important. Has there been any point of time in your career when you think about, maybe I could have done differently, right? All of those moments which we get. And building on that, is there any advice Saba today would give to the younger self many years ago?
I think I have several, right? But I'll probably share a few. Advice number one would be invest in building work relationships earlier on in your journey, right? Whether it's peer relationships, having mentorship support networks, right? Yeah. I think all of that would have made my journey much simpler, much more straightforward, much sooner. The other one is being more patient with my team, right? And with others who work with me. That's something I'm still learning on. But I keep repeating it to myself.
And that's a good message for our teams to follow, right? Because when we talk about returning to the workplace, it's all about this sense of collaboration, this network that we want to build on. Okay, Saba, coming closer home to our own organization, right? What, according to you, makes HCCB unique? Why should people come and work for HCCB? And what, according to you, are those defining moments of life at Coke?
Well, I think what stands out for me so far is how dynamic our business and our work environment is, right? How fast we evolve, how quickly we adapt, and how much we empower each one on the team, especially so new talent to join our team, right? And that's something that I live and breathe on all through, right? What I would say is that, to me, the amount of empowerment I've got in this organization and the amount of risks, the amount of decisions that you as an individual get to make is unparalleled with any other organization out there. I think this is such a dynamic organization, so fast-moving, ever-evolving, that as a new joinee, for me, it was at times overwhelming, right? But then it's wonderful because when you realize how empowering the organization is, when you realize that you have the ability to take risks for yourself, and the buck stops at you, it's invigorating to a different level altogether, right? And that's what I love about being here. So to the talent out there, I'd say if you want to be in a place that's dynamic, that empowers you, that gives you responsibility beyond what you ever thought you would get, right? That's the place to be.
Take risks.
Absolutely, right? Without being really judgmental, right? Because we've all made mistakes so far. And in fact celebrates failures sometimes, right? That's what differentiates us. And it is, of course, a great brand too, so why not?
Absolutely. And that's an element of HCCB that we need to talk more about, right? The dynamism, the ability to make mistakes, learn and grow, and the empowerment that you spoke about. And another hallmark of a great brand is what we talk about, right? Saba, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when we talk about diversity, I want to pick your thoughts on what advice would you give to a young talent, young woman starting their career?
I would say be clear about what your aspiration is, right? And give it your best shot and work hard to achieve it. Don't let society tell you otherwise. As you do that, enjoy the journey. Yeah. Don't be scared of making mistakes, and ensure you invest in building support systems, whether it's your network at work, whether it's a support system with family, friends, others, right? And never ever feel shy of leaning in on the networks you create, because there will be times, there will be life stage changes where you will need to lean into them, right? So be brave and go for your goals.
This is what we also talk about in leveraging and inspiring female talent, the LIFT program that we run for our female leaders here. Now we want to get more to understand Saba as a person on your personal side. So first question to you is, what rituals or routines that you have which help you to build on your clarity, focus, and well-being?
I think it's really important to have a certain amount of routine in my life. That's what works for me. I try to ensure I have a sleep routine and I get a minimum number of hours of sleep each day. 7. The other thing I've started doing over the last couple of years is being more conscious about eating healthy. I try to eat within daylight hours, and these things are really small changes, but they really helped me in maintaining my energy levels through the day and ensuring I have more clarity, I have more focus in my work hours as well, right? The other thing I try to carve out time for is gardening on the weekend, which balances me a fair bit as well. So I love to bake. I'm usually seen with a cookery book, relaxing and reading. When time permits, I love to travel. I love to go birding. So a lot of stuff with nature and then a lot of stuff in the kitchen.
So how do we know that you're a good baker? We got to taste some of your products.
You got to come home.
Moving ahead and talking about high points in your professional and personal life, and also intersecting them as a leader, what legacy do you want to leave behind that you want to be proud of or you want to talk about?
Each role I've taken, and I'm filled with gratitude for this, but each role that I've taken, I've enjoyed, right? But if I were to talk about a few, right? There's a role I did which was working in a white space, piloting out a role, which I then led on to establish forever in the organization I used to work for, right? That gave me a sense of fulfillment, a degree of freedom, which I really, really enjoyed. There was also the stint in Indonesia where I worked with a different culture, made friends for life, and learned that there are so many different ways of getting to the same outcome, right? And then obviously the role I'm doing right now, right? Where I'm continuing to evolve, continuing to be challenged, right? And learning every day. So these all stand out. From a personal standpoint, I think the one particular thing that stands out or is the highest for me is the time when we had our daughter. That's the most fulfilling thing.
How old is she now?
She's 6.5 and quite demanding.
Is she a master negotiator too?
Yes. Sadly for me, she is.
Okay. And what about, intersecting your professional and personal high life, the legacy that, you want to be known for?
I believe I'm here today because of a lot of leaders who trusted me and empowered me and coached me and were patient with me as well, right? For me, I would be very proud if, the team that I work for here feel the same about me when I'm not around. They feel well equipped to fulfill their full potential, and get on to have stronger careers and being leaders of their own.
So how has it been so far?
Good.
So we are on the final stretch. This is going to be the make or break round, the rapid fire round, So we will give you questions one after the other and you'll have to give us quick answer.
Okay.
Right? You know how this works. Okay, so we ready for it?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. If you could pick one genre of music which plays every time when you are around or when you want to sing, focus, meditate, what genre of music would that be?
It'll be old Hindi songs or really old English songs.
Any song or tune in particular?
Oh, I love John Denver, Leaving on a Jet Plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What's your go-to stress relief activity?
The more I'm stressed, the more I bake. So the more bread you'll find in my house.
Okay, best piece of advice you received to date?
Take care of your people and they'll take care of the results.
One person whom you remember who's mentored you?
This is a super boss of mine, who's always been around as a sounding board for me, for every tough career decision I've ever made, who continues to challenge me, but at the same time, always give me the confidence that I can do it. So really, really grateful to be having him. Yes, I'm still.
Oh, super.
Yeah.
All right, moving ahead. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird. I get energized by the mornings.
Okay. Gardening and 7 hours of sleep, remember.
Yes.
Favorite beverage?
Coffee. Costa coffee.
Okay, all right. Finally, what is something that you can't do without?
A good night's sleep.
7 hours?
Yes.
Okay, on that, you've done very well on the rapid fire.
What do
Any last thoughts or messages for our audience?
Well, no, thank you very much for having me here. I think I would just end with saying it's good to be authentic, right? Don't be too hard on yourself as you navigate through your careers. Each career path is different, right? So be open to opportunities, be open to learning, and things will be fine.
Saba, thank you so much for this insightful sharing, talking about your personal journey, talking about your thoughts on leadership, talking about some of the things that you do to unwind, and giving us some ways of how we can master the art of negotiation. So we will keep coming back to this talk every time we are stuck or we want to look at some activities to de-stress. And Saba, thank you so much for your time today. Really
Thank you very
appreciate it.
much. Thank you, Gaurav.